Hey everyone, welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to take you the journey to my life, guided by video games that shaped me, molded my passions, and left a lasting impact on who I am today. So here are the top 10 video games that changed my life. Coming at number 10, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. This was my introduction to the platforming and the first game that showed me what the true adventure could feel like. If I had an incredible mix of puzzles, actions, and those unforgettable boss battles that relieved on rock, paper, or scissors. A mechanic that felt so quirky and different at the time. It wasn't just about running and jumping, it was about mastering different levels, each filled with traps and mysteries, making every stage feel like an entirely new challenge. For me, Alex Kidd was just more than learning to think on my feet was the story of Alex, with his missions to rescue his kingdom that felt like grand and epic. Even though I was just kid myself, it was just my first taste of a hero journey. Wherever the stage was a test and each small victory felt like an accomplishment. It was a game that I reward patience and made me fall in love with the feeling of discovery. This was the number 10 on the top list. Coming up at number 9, Super Mario Bros. This title was changing the game forever. Mario Quest to rescue Princess Peach transport me to an array of colorful theme worlds, from open windows to shadow underground passages. It was incredible how simple the game mechanical worked, jumping, avoiding enemies, providing a surprise deep and rewarding experience. Each level introduced new challenges, often requiring perfect timing, which brought both frustration and immense satisfaction. The genius bar behind Super Mario Bros. Laid a beautifully balanced, difficult, and seamless progression. The excitement of reaching the next flagpole or discovering secret areas felt like monumental victory. It taught me persistence and reward patience, made me realize that even straightforward concepts could lead to remarkable adventures. Number 8 on the top list, Sonic 2. This game, as a kid, was changing my perception of speed and action. It was like anything I was playing at the time. Sonic was racing through levels like Emerald Hill Zone, collecting rings, and flying off ramps providing a thrilling experience. The adrenaline rush of keeping Sonic momentum, especially during tricky segments, kept me glued to the screen, trying to shave precious seconds of my completion time. The satisfaction as a kid of this game was unmatched. Tails as a companion added a cooperative layer, making the game even feel more exciting as a team adventure. Sonic 2 was about precision, pushing the limits, and maintaining a flow. It was insane enough the energy and the speed that makes you feel in love with the series. Coming up number 7, Street Fighter 2. This title was the benchmark of fighting games. Each character like Ryu, Chun-Li, or Guile had a distinct fighting style, and learning their signature moves became the obsession like me and everyone else. There was something special about executing the perfect Hadouken or mastering Chun-Li lighting kick. It took skill, timing, and quick reflexes to master it. The real beauty about Street Fighter 2 was the depth in the game. It wasn't just about reflexes. It required understanding about your opponent, predictions to your moves, and crafting your counters. The thrill of hard-earning victory after an intense battle taught me the importance of practice, strategy, and resilience. It was where my love for skill-based games truly began. Coming up number 6, Resident Evil 2. This game was the darkest game I ever played as a kid. This story was about Leon and Claire. They battled their way through the chaos of Raccoon City that was filled with tension, draft, and constant zombies on lurking danger. Each step had to be taken consciously. Limited resources mean that every bullet counted, and each dark hallway might hold a potential terrifying encounter. It was not just about survival. It was about managing fear, solving crazy puzzles, and navigating an environment that actually felt truly hostile. The atmosphere, the isolation, the vulnerability left an impact that extends beyond the screen, making to everyone experience about courage and even for the ones in a virtual setting. Coming up number 5, Metal Gear Solid 2. Sons of Liberty. This game elevated storytelling forever. It was the first time I felt I was playing through a gripping action film, complete with suspense, deception, and complex characters. Stealth gameplay was the core. Slipping past guards, using a mix of gadgets, and avoiding detection was the thrilling and nerve-wracking in an equal measure. The narrative complexity was what truly set it two apart. The category and the philosophical themes about control, freedom, and the consequences of power that challenged my understanding and left my questions about everything I thought I knew. Metal Gear Solid 2 wasn't just about playing a character, it was about stepping up into a carefully woven narrative that engaged me into an intellectual level. It refined what games could achieve, combining cinematic storytelling with sophisticated gameplay. It set a benchmark that few others can match. Coming up number 4, Final Fantasy VII. This game marked me forever, and I believe that marked a lot of people around the world. The moment you start playing, you're introducing to an unforgettable cast of characters: Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and the ever-villainous Seraph. The journey to Midgar and beyond was so emotional, and the twists of the story felt so real and impactful. Air of Fate is a moment that still brings me a lump to my throat, even all these years later. It was the first time a game made me understand the weight of loss and sacrifice. The turn-based combat, the summoning powerful allies, and the intricate material systems that all come together to form an experience that was strategic and it was so thrilling. But it wasn't just about the combat. The journey itself was so profound, and each character's personal struggles, growth, and relationships form a story arc that felt so cinematic and emotional that anything I've experienced in the gaming before. Final Fantasy VII was just an adventure, was a lesson of empathy, exploring themes of identity, friendship, and finding hope even in the darkest times. Taking up number 3, Grand Theft Auto 3. This game was the first time the world experienced the open world. Liberty City felt alive, a sprawling urban playground filled with endless opportunities. It wasn't just about completing missions, it was about exploring, causing chaos, and making your choices in a greedy world full of crime and danger. I remember the thrill of simply driving around, testing out physics, and realizing the entire city was open for me to explore at my own pace. GTA 3 redefined the concept of freedom in video games. It wasn't a linear story, and the ability to choose your actions, whatever moral or chaotic, added layers of realism and unpredictability. The storytelling laced dark humor drew me into navigating a danger aliens and betrayals of criminal underworld. It set the new standard of immersive, open-world gameplay and was the first time I felt I could write my own story with a game environment. Coming out number 2 in the top list, Destiny. A game that brought me the concept of a shared world shooter to life in a way that I never imagined before. The thrill of teaming up with your friends and diving in a vast rage together created an unforgettable bond. Experience the universe from red sands to Mars to the twisted depths of Heath felt like embarking on an epic sci-fi journey where every mission mattered and every encounter tested our strength as a team. Destiny was just a shooter, it was a camaraderie. The challenge of working through raid puzzles, coordinating attacks against giant bosses, and the euphoria of finally taking down a big boss together was a level of exhilaration unlike anything I felt in a solo gaming. The loot system and the character customization made any garden feel unique. And each legendary drop, I felt it closer to mastering my role. It was a journey about becoming more powerful, not just for yourself, for the fire team that counted on you on the next. And at the top of the list, taking the number 1 spot, Cyberpunk 2077. Personally, despite the rocky launch, this game offered me the experience that I've been dreaming as a child. The world of Blade Runner and Neo Tokyo suddenly became to life in Night City. This was not just an amazing setup, but V as a character, I was living and breathing Metropolis 48 hours after the game launched. The world is full of stories and bounties to be uncovered, with themes of identity, corruption, and freedom that really resonate with me. V's struggle, both in terms of survival and finding purpose in a chaotic world, felt powerful and personal. Cyberpunk 2077 presents me a world of endless possibilities. Sometimes I could be a mercenary seeking revenge or a street kid climbing the ranks. The RPG elements from customizing cyberware to align various factions, providing an immersive experience every choice to lead to new experience. Cyberpunk 2077 presents me a world of endless possibilities. The narrative choices allowed me to shape the character's fate, whether I wanted to be a mercenary seeking revenge, or a street kid climbing the ranks, or someone earning for something more significant beyond the neon lights. The RPG elements from customization cyberware to aligning varied factions provide me an immersed experience, whatever decision led to new consequences. Despite the imperfections and the emotional depth, the richly detailed work and the emotional graphics and the complexity of the characters made Cyberpunk 2077 the most unforgettable game I ever played. Thank you for watching, fam. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Love you all.